I don't know if you pay attention to my channel, you see that I'm in IT, going for a couple of certifications, and I actually am in the process of setting up a lab in my basement where I can practice and study for my MCSE, CCNA, some Linux, touch on some NetWare, even though NetWare is damn near, you know, non-existent at this point. And I actually was very focused on getting the MCSE as opposed to the MCITP. And for those of you who are not in IT and don't know what that is, the MCSE is basically these are Microsoft certifications, and the last MCSE was for Server 2003. With Server 2008, Microsoft did away with the MCSE and they came out with a new certification, the MCITP, which is supposed to be more focused on an actual job role. And I was thinking basically being at the MCSE, Server 2003 is more widely used right now, and since Vista flopped, and the cost of upgrading a whole network infrastructure is probably wouldn't warrant switching over to Server 2008, especially if you're not having any problems with 2003. That's going to be around for the next couple of years. Whereas, so basically, you're going to have more companies that are going to be using, Server 2003 and XP as opposed to Vista or Windows 7 and Server 2008. So for that reason, I felt it probably would be better for me to get the MCSE versus the MCITP. But then I'm looking at them, and I'm starting to think, the MCSE 2003 is 7 years old, right? While it might be the most prolific of Microsoft's operating systems out there right now being used by companies, if I was to get my MCITP, everything in the MCITP should be backwards compatible with MCSE 2003 because it's just taking that and building on it. So it's just extra features and extra functionality. So if you know how to configure and set up and use Server 2008, then you should also be able to do Server 2003. If you can do Windows 7, then you should subsequently be able to do Vista and XP because it is backwards compatible. Whereas the MCSE is not the other way around. Just because you know how to do 2003 doesn't mean you know how to do 2008 because there are new features and upgrades in it. Plus the fact that the MCITP is only 5 exams, whereas the MCSE is 7, which is something I always thought should, because there are 2 exams in the MCSE that I always thought should have been eliminated because they seem to duplicate 2 exams. I believe it's Active Directory infrastructure and Server 2003 infrastructure. I believe they had one that was just infrastructure and then one that was design. So it seems like there was a. I know I'm not giving you the correct names here for it, but I think one was like this was maintaining and configuring, and then one was design, implement, maintain, and configure. So I was like, why do we need to maintain and configure if we just do the design and everything? You're getting everything as opposed to these two that only give you something. So it seems like Microsoft did that. They did away with those 2 extra exams that really were just rehashing knowledge from 2 other exams in there, and they broke it down to 5. So I figured, okay, it's 5 certification exams instead of 7. It's going to take less time to do. It's going to cost you less money because obviously you're paying for 2 less exams. It's going to take less time in studying. It's going to take less study, study, textbooks that you have to purchase. So again, that's less money. You're gonna know the newest technology and you're gonna know the older technology because it's backwards compatible. So I think I'm gonna switch over to the MCITP and go for that as opposed to the MCSE as well as my CCNA. And once the lab, well, I guess I can't say once it's finished, but once what I have currently is done, I'm gonna do a setup video for that. And then once I get my Cisco routers and switches, I guess I'll do another video for that. And I wanted to start doing videos of actually me walking you through my study process, so you're basically studying with me. So while I'm actually doing the labs, the hands-on, I'll actually record it and I'll explain everything that I'm doing for anybody who's also interested in IT. I guess you could say you're getting you're getting my training for free, because as I study it, I go do the lab, I'm recording it and explaining everything that I'm doing, so you're studying right along with me. So if you want to use that as your study material to go get your certifications, you can do that too. Um, I know a lot of you people are here for the video games, so while I will put from time to time some of those videos here, I'm gonna create a separate channel specifically for that, for the people who just want the IT stuff, so we don't, you know, so we don't have people who are not here for that getting flooded with that. I'm also gonna create a separate channel for the music too, for anybody who's interested in that. Again, from time to time, some of that stuff will come here because this is my main channel, but the majority of the things non-video game related will be on those other channels. And so just give me your feedback if you know something that you might be interested in seeing or learning about as far as the IT, the music, and even if you're in IT, your thoughts on that, the MCSE versus the MCITP, which would you go take and why? And I see other people online in IT forums saying that you're better off with the MCSE because it's going to be here for X amount of years, and that's the way I was thinking about it. But again, like I said, if you know the MCITP stuff, you're gonna know the MCSE stuff because it's the newer technology, which is just built upon the older technology. It's just that you know the newer functionalities as well, so you're prepared. You know, like what I'm thinking. Let's say I get the MCSE and I get hired. You know, you go in for an interview. The MCSE guy might be able to run your network perfectly fine, but once you decide you want to migrate to 2008, what does he know about 2008 to even give you the best migration scenario or the best, you know, routes to take, and or why you should migrate to this and why you should migrate now and what advantages are you going to get from it? He doesn't know anything about 2008, whereas the MCITP guy can still run your 2003 server infrastructure, but when it's time to migrate, or let's say you don't even decide to migrate, let's say because he knows about it, he sees that he can save you money or improve the functionality of the network by upgrading to 2008. The MCSE guy may not even know about any of this stuff because he's not familiar with it because he's MCSE. So things like that I was thinking about, like, probably make it better to go for the MCITP, as well as the cost savings and and whatever else. And before I get out of here, I gotta give a special shout out to Nasty Tony. I know I owe you a couple of games in bad company. That one game I did join your game and I got kicked out. I don't know if my connection dropped or what the hell happened. I got kicked out, and when I got kicked out, I actually went to see if I could get in a Collins game because that's what I was trying to do before I joined yours. But his game was full, and once I went to join it, it wasn't full anymore. So I got in, and then once I got in there, one of my subs, Shazar 2010, shout out to Shazar, and he got in there with me on my squad, and we started playing, and there was a couple of guys in there. Colin plays with GLS, so they were in there on our team, and we just stayed in there for like a good couple of games, and then I had another sub, Code Source, eventually joined my squad too. So I basically just stayed in that game and playing with those guys for the rest of the night. So I didn't forget about you. I do owe you a couple games. I'm definitely gonna get you in there, so we're gonna make that happen. And I guess that's the end of my rambling. I don't even have any idea how long I've been talking for right now because I got this minimized. But wow, 21 minutes. Okay. Yeah, talk about not having anything to talk about, right? So I guess I'm gonna call this to an end. I got some editing to go do. So hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe. I am out. Sontwisted 1.